Good evening, this is Tacks. I'm Zachar Jacob. It's been 5 days since the Anjali hit and drag case, but today there was another shocking CCTV footage that came out. And in this footage, you can see a mystery man who is dropping off Anjali and her friend Nidhi at this said party around 7 p.m. This happened New Year's Eve. We don't know who this mystery man is, neither do the police. They have not called him in for questioning. But it is absolutely critical for the world to know who this man is, what his role was in the party, if at all he was in the party, and what his role was subsequent to that. There is also now a friend of Anjali who says that he was at the party where both Anjali and Nidhi were there, and he claims that both Anjali and Nidhi were drunk at the party, contrary to what Anjali's family has been saying all along. The question is simply this: 5 days on, is the Delhi police any closer to solving this case?
Delhi's hit and drag case is getting murkier. Anjali's death probe is full of many twists. More details have now emerged from that night. One of Anjali's friends claims that he was present in the party that night. Everyone that was in the party were drinking alcohol, including Nidhi and Anjali, he says. He even revealed that Nidhi and Anjali got into a fight right after.
11:30 बजे जाता हूँ, वहाँ पार्टी चल रही होती है, ये पीरे खा रहे होते हैं, ठीक है सर। यहाँ पे मैं थोड़ी देर बैठता हूँ, थोड़ी देर बैठने के बाद हम चले जाते हैं। इनके आपस में लड़ाई होने लग जाती है, निधि की और अंजलि की। इनके आपस में हाथापाई होती है, हम छुड़वाते हैं सर। छुड़वाने के बाद इनकी ये थोड़ी देर में नीचे चली जाती है।
कितने बजे अंजलि वहाँ से निकली थी? देखा है कि वहाँ सीसीटीवी में दिख भी रही है 1:30 बजे के आसपास।
सर हाँ, इतने बजे लिख रही है, मुझे ध्यान नहीं है क्योंकि हम ऊपर बैठे रह गए। इनका आपस में झगड़ा हो रहा था। अंजलि को मैंने समझाया कि लड़ाई मत कर, वो निधि नीचे चली गई, फिर अंजलि भी नीचे गई, ये दोनों नीचे झगड़ने लगी। जब होटल वाले ने बोला भाई नीचे लड़ाई कर रही है, हम नीचे जाने लगे, इतने में चली गई वो।
Delhi police has arrested the remaining 2 accused in the case, but today another CCTV footage emerged. This footage is from 31st of December. Timing on the footage is about 7 p.m. Anjali and Nidhi can be seen on a scooty with a man. Nidhi leaves the spot immediately, but Anjali stays behind and has a conversation with this mystery person. A lot of questions now arise with this CCTV. Who is this mystery man? Was he probed by the police? If he is involved, why is he not arrested? Was he too present at the party? And does this mystery man have any links with the accused? This case throws up more questions than answers each passing day.
All right, on the talking point this evening, Shazia Ilmi, spokesperson of the BJP, Anjali Rai, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Yashovardhan Jha Azad, former IPS officer, Pragya Parijat Singh is a senior advocate, and Tyra Hassan, social activist. Shazia, I'll start with you first. I'll start with the first part of what happened today. This was this CCTV footage which shows a mystery man dropping off both Nidhi and Anjali in a scooty at around 7 p.m. at this set party. We don't know who he is. We don't know if he was part of the party. We don't know if the Delhi police have actually, got the identity of this man and questioned him. But surely he seems like a person of interest.
Oh, definitely. And I really think, and I've been mentioning it, that the whatever happened and transpired at the hotel, wherever Nidhi apparently had checked in, I think something happened there, and I think one needs to get into it. It's first of all, the hotel owners just can't throw out these 2 girls. Apparently, some scruff happened, but something was going on, and I think we need to get into it because the more you think you understand this, the more you don't. And all of us are very anxious about wanting to know. And I think Delhi police, maybe they're taking their own time. I don't speak for them. I don't defend them. I also believe that the investigating team will do a good job under Shalini ji, who's the officer in charge. But I do feel that, the sooner we know, the better it is. Because there are lots of things that one cannot understand, and there are more and more, and more and more players that come into this foul play, and not just that. I mean, look at the registration also. Like apparently, Amit was driving, and Deepak took the responsibility.
Correct.
Because and so I mean, I don't know what is happening, and it is extremely bizarre, and because it's so. The way the woman's body was dragged also is difficult to understand. How can a body be dragged for so long?
Correct.
I mean, unless I don't know. I
No,
can't
today
get
we
my hand-
had two people. One is a friend of Anjali's and Nidhi's who claims that he was also at that party, and he says that he saw the both of them fighting. The hotel people wanted them off the premises because they didn't want to have a fight inside their premises. So I want to ask Anjali Rai, isn't it important for us to know what happened at this said party? What happened inside that hotel? And presumably, all hotels, all private institutions in the capitals, big or small, have CCTV cameras. So it's important for us to know what exactly happened inside that hotel between Anjali and Nidhi. Was there a fight? What was the reason for that fight? And how did that fight spill over onto the road? Because we can see them fighting on the road. Anjali Rai.
Yeah. See, I would like to say that every day a new story is coming up in media with new footage and new statements, new facts. Frankly telling, I am not at all interested to know why were they fighting, what was the issue between them, what was the reason of their fight. The most important thing is to get justice for the girl who has been dragged to death by 5 accused and their 2 accomplices. We should not divert from the main issue. We should be more interested to get justice for the girl.
No, ma'am, we are all interested in getting justice for the girl. That's why we are doing these programs night after night. No, once again. I think we're all missing a critical piece of the puzzle, and that is, so far the Delhi police are saying there's no contact. Once again, no contact between the accused person and the victim, in this case, Anjali, right? Now, they're saying this basis CDR, they're saying this basis, testimony and so on and so forth. But we don't know, Anjali Rai, whether these 5 people or these 4 people who were in the car were also there at that party. Did they see Anjali and Nidhi before? Was there, they may not have any acquaintance with each other, but were they physically in the same space before this said accident happened? Because today we had one of the family members come out and say, how can you have a body stuck behind a car for 1.5 or 2 hours? He said, उनको बांध के लेके गए.
They may these may be relevant things, whatever you are saying. But the thing is, I'm pissed off because so many stories coming up. Nidhi has built a 3-story house. She was not living with her parents. We are not interested to know what was she doing and how did she get that house. We are interested that all the culprits should be punished immediately. And police should speed up with whatever they are doing. And LG should also intervene immediately. He is more busy in the mayor elections in MCD rather than delivering justice.
No, that's a political point. I don't want to go down that political road. Let me ask Yashovardhan Azad, please. Yashovardhan Azad on the screen. Yashovardhan Azad, the whole police case has been premised on the fact that the accused and the victim did not know each other. Now, yes, they are saying that basis call records, they are saying that basis other testimonies of other witnesses. But isn't it an absolutely important and critical thing to know whether the accused and the victim were in that same room, in that hotel, at that party before this said accident happened? Because right now, we're all led to believe that this was a hit-and-run case gone wrong. All the accused persons were drunk. They didn't realize a body was stuck below the car. The family is saying, how can somebody not realize that a human body is stuck below the car? That there was some knowledge or acquaintance or some, at least there were familiarity between the accused and the victim, certainly at this party. Isn't it important for us to know that?
Yes, in the sense that if the presence of these 4 accused is established at the party before, then the crime becomes even more grave, that it may be, after investigation, be proven that it was a premeditated case and it was not exactly hit and run. So in that respect, it is important. Also, the comment which you made earlier that both of them got drunk, and also another point which came that somebody had dropped them at 7 p.m. But Zaka, my main issue here is that, we have the substantive part of the evidence has already come in. And that is that the first part is the impact. And with the impact, the statement which has been now said before the magistrate of Nidhi, that he fell down, she was screaming under the car, and while Nidhi herself was thrown on the other side of the road. Now, that's a very, very important thing because it gives exactly the state from which the next sequence of events starts,
Okay.
and that is them being under the car. So I would say that while in the investigation, new things keep coming up, and therefore, you have to thread them together. So what is important now is to add the CCTV evidence along with the witnesses, 164, and the forensic which is coming to make it a watertight case.
Okay,
And
one thing, and I want to ask Pragya Singh this. Of course, the police have a lot of evidence on their hands, from CCTV footage to witness testimonies and so on and so forth. What they don't have, Pragya Singh, and this is where I think the defense will climb on this case, is they don't have CCTV footage of the exact moment of collision, right? There is a particular footage which shows the car coming from one side and the bike coming from the other, and the car passes by, and there is no footage to show that the bike is passing by. But there is no moment of collision CCTV footage. Now, what they do have is they have a witness statement which says, I was on the bike with the victim. I also got hit in this car crash. I fell to the other side. I was lucky I managed to escape, but the victim went under the car and got stuck in the chassis. Now, this witness is critical because, like I said, in the absence of CCTV footage, the entire case is premised on this eyewitness statement. And unfortunately, for the Delhi police and for, frankly, the victim's family, in 24 hours after she has come out in public and said what she has said, there are multiple holes already being poked in her theories. I mean, if the media can do this, I shudder to think what the defense counsel will do with Nidhi's testimony. Pragya Singh.
Absolutely. Yes. So, good evening, Zaka. The thing is that I, as a lawyer, always say that the crime scene is very, very pristine, and as the time passes, contamination takes place or any type of evidence tampering takes place. So it is very, very crucial for Delhi police to immediately freeze all the CCTVs that are available in and around the vicinity. So there are different types of evidences. When we do not have a direct evidence or an eyewitness, we believe on circumstantial evidences. However, we do have a sole testimony of the person who was there. And as per section 134 of the Evidence Act, it categorically says that the conviction can be made solely on the basis of what the eyewitness is saying. However, there is a condition precedent that it has to be of sterling quality. However, even after a lapse of 24 hours, when the so-called best friend or so-called friend who was there very much with that woman was not able to come out with a theory which seems, so there are so many rebuttals which even a commoner or people from media, any generic person can deflag the story that person is trying to build. So in that scenario, whatever statement she's given in front of magistrate will of course be taken on the face of it. However, it becomes very, very important that it has to be of such a nature that we believe it, because it has to be of sterling quality, and right now we are not able to corroborate whatever she's saying as to however things were. So CCTV footage plays a very, very important role in this regard at this point in time.
No, credibility of the witness is absolutely essential, absolutely must, and her statement, her testimony must stand in court of law. It must stand the scrutiny of the defense. But Taira Hassan, I think, the critical thing, Taira Hassan, and I'll come back to Yashovardhan Azad in a moment, is that you're getting multiple versions and conflicting reports in this thing here. Not that, the state of the victim at the time of this accident has any bearing. But if it is proved, there is a subsequent viscera report that is to come, chemical analysis has to be done subsequent to the postmortem. But if that happens, and these witness statements which are saying that Anjali was also drunk at the time of the accident, if it is concurring that she was indeed drunk, does that not become a mitigating factor for the accused? Because the accused can then say, we were not the only drunk people in this hit and run, so was the victim, and therefore it becomes a mitigating factor, if not at the sentencing stage, if not at the conviction stage, but certainly at the sentencing stage.
If she was drunk, suppose if she was drunk, then these men dragged her 12 kilometers, she was screaming and they kept driving.
Correct.
If she was drunk, this means she will be killed. Such a a brutal way. Question is this, and she was dragged 12 kilometers, imagine, without drawing attention of the police personnel. When the PCR van, as a CCTV footage revealed, was moving on the same road, then accountability must be fixed on them also. This is what I'm saying. We have lost the girl, we have lost the daughter of this country. 16, again I will repeat, 16,000 and more than that police personnel were deployed. What they were doing? They failed to protect the life of the girl. Question is this only. And what the Nidhi is saying, I mean, that is a different story because she was very much present there. Okay. But she ran away after the accident. She did not inform to police as a responsible citizen, as a human being, as a best friend. She did not inform police, did not inform to her family, did not inform to Anjali's family.
Absolutely. That also has to stand the test of the trial. But Yashovardhan Azad wanted to make a point. Yes, Mr. Azad.
Yeah, 2 quick points, Zaka. I would not be too much worried because there is no CCTV to show the impact of the collision, rather. Because you see, corroborating 164 statement of Anjali is the accused FIR, in which they themselves say that we had a collision and she got under the car and we did not hear her because of the loud music.
Yeah.
Now the second point is, even if the report says that she is drunk, the second part, which is the culpable homicide not amounting to murder, still stands, because you ask an auto engineer or any expert, he will say that even if a slight something is attached to your mudguard or your wheel, you will know exactly that you're carrying a body beneath.
Yeah.
So I think on these points, the police should remain firm and, as the esteemed lawyer said, gather more evidence. And I think they have a pretty good case.
Okay, I want to go back to Shazia. You know, there was a family member, a distant family member of Anjali who came out and said today, and I think he has a point. Think about it logically. This is a human body that we are talking about. And the Baleno is a car, from whatever I know, it has a very low suspension. It's not like a Fortuner or an SUV or a Scorpio, you know, these high suspension cars. This is a low suspension car. If a human body is just stuck there after an accident, after a collision, at some point that human body will have to, you know, cut off from the car, right? He says, unko bandh ke leke gaya, meaning somebody tied her up to the car, which, again, like I said, if the victim and the accused did not know each other, then this whole tying theory falls flat. But if they did know, and we don't know if they did, but if they did know, it is possible that this tying theory is possible.
No, that is the thing. You know, that is what disturbs me, because that again I go to questions of the extreme kind of depravity, and I don't know what kind of psychosis would lead to people to do that. You see, that makes it even more horrendous for me. So I'm telling you, I know the Baleno car really well. I drove that car for 8 years. And so I know it really well, and I do not think it's possible. And that you would not know. One, it is not possible physically to have a body tied up or stuck in such a way.
Correct.
In any of the trappings under the car, for the body, I mean, which would, if you look at a frame of 5 feet 3 inches or 6 inches, to be there in that kind of axis that we saw on the footage, to remain that way for so long, it is not possible to get entangled in such a way, in a uniform sort of a way. Which is what is bringing me again and again to this thought, which is a very disturbing thought, that would they have tied it? Which is why I'm going back to the question of the hotel, because it cannot be a coincidence, you see, and then it would be too much that one of the persons who they knew at the hotel also was behind this. And you know, that cannot be such a huge coincidence, which is what makes it very murky, you see, and scary. So this is what I keep going back to. Now, my only question is, see, why would we take Nidhi's statement got a severe blow by the post-mortem report?
Correct.
You know, as the report, so nobody, but there were parts of the report which I keep coming back to as a witness. she might have, you can call it perjury or whatever the legal term is. That is, of course, if she were to change it. But she started off with a lie on this one. But clearly she was there. And maybe she's trying to save herself. But she was there and she said those 5 men could have saved her.
Yeah.
So what were they doing? I mean, were they under the influence of something else that they could not figure out? When that's kind of, because you cannot, even if you are drunk or in some crazy state, that you would not know. And also it's not possible for a body to be tied up in such a uniform manner. Delhi roads, I mean, they're not, I'm just saying there would be something,
uneven terrain, bumps, whatever it is. Yeah.
There was such a smooth road for 13 kilometers that you would not know.
Correct.
So it's just very disturbing. If that is the case,
I think Pragya also wanted to make a point. Yeah, Pragya saying.
You said, I think it is very important that we probe into what transpired in the hotel, because that is also a very important link. In case other people were there and it was premeditated, the case will change its direction altogether. We need to understand that for commission of a crime, 2 things are very important: mens rea and actus reus. There has to be a criminal intention and there has to be an act, any overt or covert act. So even if, for example, it was a rash and negligent act, the car collided with the scooty, but at the same time, you had a criminal intention to run away. It's very hard to digest for me that you're dragging a car like Baleno for good 13-14 kilometers and you're not able to understand that something is happening, somebody is screaming. And we cannot corroborate the sentence of the sole testimony, which is Nidhi. She's saying, I couldn't hear any music from the car. These people are saying the music was very loud. So, different type of statements are given, and
I think that mens rea part is very important. I'll ask Anjali Rai of the Aam Aadmi Party this, because mens rea means there was an intention to commit a crime. Now, even if let's say the accused and the victim did not know each other, and the accused randomly hit on this bike because the scooty happened to be right in front of them, and they were inebriated, loud music was playing, whatever it was. Fact is that 2 hours pass by after all this driving and the body first entangles and then tangles off. The first thing that these guys do around 4 o'clock, and there's CCTV footage for this, the guy who is driving comes out of the car and looks at the bottom of the car. Now, that leads us to believe that he knew that something was there. Definitely. It may or may not have been a human body, but he certainly knew something was impeding the movement of this car. And that is intention. Definitely. Anjali Rai.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with you completely that they were knowing that there was a girl, or at least there was something behind the car. And as Shazia said, that it is a mystery, because Baleno car is a low suspension car, and it doesn't have enough space where a girl can get stuck for so long. And this is really a very big mystery which can be solved only by the experts and the police. But I agree with you that the crime was intentional. They knew that the girl was stuck beneath the car, and instead of taking her out and taking her to the hospital, they dragged her. They moved the car to and fro many times. It means that either they wanted to get rid of her body, or they were trying to kill her, and they did not make any attempt to take her out. So it's definitely a case of murder, and I think 302 should be imposed on all the accused and their accomplices.
One thing that stands out for me, Taira Hassan, is straight away, the fact that the person who was actually driving the car, Amit, did not have a license, and Deepak claimed that he was the guy who was driving the car because amongst all the 4, he was the only one who had a license. And now, yesterday, the police have revealed that basis the phone records of Deepak and where his phone was, the actual location of his phone, he never left his house. He was not there in the car. He was not there at the scene of crime. That itself, the fact that they were willing to cover up because they know that if they actually said that the person who was at the wheel did not have a license, that would compound their crime, that itself shows criminality. That itself is a crime to start with.
Absolutely.
Yes, they have. Absolutely. I agree with you. They have committed the crime. They knew it. The body was under the car. That's why the CCTV camera, you can see that one of the accused getting down and bending and seeing to left side of the car, left wheel. So they knew everything. That's why I'm saying it's a brutal murder. And whoever is responsible must be punished. We want justice for Anjali. Then the emphasis should be on that only. That these type of people who have committed the crime, where there are lapses from the side of police, they should also be punished. Because again, I will repeat, after the Justice Verma committee that was constituted after Nirbhaya, its committee has made a very strong law that is in our hand, and that law says if the police personnel also fails, if the Thana in charge fails to write the FIR or take the action, he should also be punished.
No, I think that could be a good starting point. I'll give Shazia the final word. I have 30 seconds to wrap up. Can the police at least start, Shazia, by saying these were the 3 PCR vans that passed by, these were the constables in that PCR van, these were the people who missed the PCR calls. They are suspended pending inquiry. Can that be a starting point?
Yes, I think there is, I'm sure there is an ongoing departmental inquiry into this as to what really transpired. And I cannot, overemphasize this, that this is the least. I mean, I was there, on the streets like many of us when Nirbhaya happened. And this incident also, it just, it's shaken all of us up. It's extremely gruesome. And I think the gruesomeness of it doesn't leave us. While we have to ensure that all the gaping loopholes are tackled with policing, patrolling, the distress calls, PCR responsiveness, and all of that. But there is something larger, Zaka. This whole depraved mentality, this craziness that is happening, the sickness that people either, people who think like this and do this. I think that's what's most...
Shazia, I'm completely out of time. I agree with you 100%. I've been saying this from day one. Policing is only one part of it. Just improving policing will not stop crimes against women in Delhi. It's going to be a whole range of responses, all of which we need to do now to make sure that the women of Delhi feel safer. Quick break. When we come back, the Air India urination row has gotten much bigger now. The crew have been questioned. The pilot and co-pilot have been questioned. It's not just a question of this errant, deviant passenger, but will the crew also face action? That's coming up.